2.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Orange County Funding Corporation's Governance Committee meeting. The time is now 3:05 and I'd like to call the meeting to order. Could we have a roll call, please?
Sure. Linda Muller.
Here.
Giovanni Palladino.
Here.
Jeffrey Christ.
Here.
Dean Tamburri.
Here.
Dr. Vincent Odock.
Here.
5 of 5 members present. Also I have another board member here. New board member Lee Benton is with us. Thanks for joining us, Lee. For staff, myself, Bill Fioravanti, Kelly Riley, Marty Barras. We have Matt Dagley handling the AV, our general counsel Rudy Zoda, and our state monitor Brian Sandwich. That is everyone.
Thank you very much. The proof of notice was done and noted the time was appropriate. Everyone got a copy of the previous minutes. Did you get an opportunity to review them? I'd ask for a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Any discussion, any corrections on the minutes as they were presented in our packets?
No.
No. Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion.
I abstain.
Oh, you're gonna abstain because you weren't here. So we have one abstention, and the remainder are approved. Motion carries. Old business, policy review and revisions. Bill, do you wanna?
Yeah, I think technically speaking, Rudy, I don't know if you have these in front of you. They're the last in your pile in a paper clip, but the last 4 policies that we reviewed during 2025 and made some amendments to. Basically, what's left now are 4 policies: the investment policy, defense and indemnification policy, our procurement policy, and then the disposition of property guidelines, policy guidelines. Really what we did was really taking off the work that you started, Linda, where we have this kind of cover page and we say really what area of the organization applies to, what director is responsible, the effective date, et cetera, when it was updated. And then some of these bulleted items for statement of purpose, significant principles, procedure, and then the evaluation of the policy. So we've added that for each of these.
Excellent.
The reason I was referring to you, Rudy, is that some of our policies are kind of both agencies, but I don't know that these technically, they all say Orange County IDA. So I don't know that we have any of those to discuss in this meeting. I think we really would just go to the bylaws.
Okay.
Okay, so but I do want you to have that packet again, some
So
policies
just to
apply for both.
follow, even though we're not gonna be doing anything regarding those policy updates, the bulk of the policy, how it works hasn't
Yes.
changed.
Correct.
It's just the structural, how do we
It was
work
reviewed
together?
by everyone,
Okay.
went through the year, minimal feedback,
Got
council as well, but with these additions, looking for you to take one last look. And we're actually looking for approval on this in February, so I didn't include this in the board packet. So just looking for you to review this, make sure you're okay with it, give me any feedback, and then I wanna be able to redistribute to the full board, for February, for approval then. On the bylaws, that's this one in front of you. You have 2 sets of revised bylaws. I tried to put them in order. You'll recall that we added the ethics officer
Yes.
here. And then we also added some language. We added back in the CFO and the COO, if you remember. And we included some feedback from the chairwoman you suggested in our last governance committee meeting, where there's this line saying that in the event that the current budget does not provide for a COO, then the appointment requires prior approval by the board of directors.
Yes.
We've added that to both policies, even though we just updated IDA, where we've added that and looking for a readoption of that.
Perfect.
And that's the main change here, and the ethics officer on the OCFC bylaws.
Got it.
So you see it's in, I'm sorry, I meant to tell you the pages. That's pages 11 and 12 is the majority of the changes.
Yep, that's what we talked about. The one thing though, on page number 5 of our packet, the first page where it has amended and restated, don't cross out December 10th, 2020, that should stay, and then we should just have another line that says, January, 21st, 2026, whatever the next date is. So
Okay.
you just wanna keep running dates so that we know that they've been reviewed.
Okay, great. Sound good?
That's excellent, yes.
Terrific, great.
All right, do we need to review this again, or are we gonna vote on this?
We do. We just want you to vote to recommend to the full board for adoption of this policy, and we'll do the same in IDA.
First, I'd like to thank the committee for their comments and their review. And thanks, Bill, for getting this back to us. This, has been bothering me for a little bit. So I'd like a motion from the committee to pass this on to the board with our recommendation to approve as presented.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Giovanni. Any
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion, any comments? Hearing none, all in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, hearing none, motion carries, thank you very much. I don't think there's any other business that needs to come before us.
There's not.
Okay. But there's no financing that we're doing here? That's gonna be the finance.
Yes.
committee. Well, I get my committees.
Yep, up next.
A motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much. Are we gonna move right in?
Two.
Thank you. Good afternoon and welcome to the Orange County IDA Governance Committee meeting. The time is now 3:10 in the afternoon and I'd like to call the meeting to order. Could we please get a roll call?
Linda Muller.
Here.
Giovanni Palladino.
Here.
Jeffrey Christ.
Here.
Dean Tamburri.
Here.
Dr. Vincent Odock.
Yes.
5 of 5 members present. We also have board member Lee Benton with us as well. For staff, Bill Fioravanti, Kelly Riley, Marty Barras, Matt Digley on audiovisual, our general counsel Rudy Zoda, and we have our state monitor Brian Sandage with us.
Thank you very much. Proof of notice of this meeting was made. Thank you very much. And minutes, everyone in their packet received the minutes from our December 17th meeting. I'd like a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any corrections or discussions regarding the minutes? Hearing none, I will call the question. Everyone in favor of approving the minutes that have been presented to us, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Abstain.
Mr. Christ is abstaining because he was not at the meeting, so thank you very much. Okay, new business.
Okay, first item is CRH Realty 3. That is one of our projects that goes back to 2013, essentially. I want you to look at this report. This is what we reviewed in detail last month in governance. This is updated. It just really had the...
Was this updated because you had said there were some people who were gonna get some additional information
Correct,
to you? Okay.
correct. And Mr. Palladino asked that we update it and everyone has it with those numbers as well. So he wanted to see what they told us, not just what was in Paris. Because I do have a separate version of this. This is just, because again, what goes in Paris is locked for eternity in Paris. So we do have a track on what's been reported, but this is all based on feedback from the employers.
Okay.
And you, again, with the 10-year, just like we discussed last month, with this 10-year review, you do see that there's, that the 2024 Paris report is just a snapshot in time. That really, we're looking at the whole life cycle of the project, and the majority of our projects, which entering 2025, we have 39 active projects. The vast majority achieve their hiring goals at some point during the timeline here, or at least we're within 10%. We had 3 really egregious ones that received the most attention, and rightly so. 2 were Crystal Run, CRH Realty, and another one was Glen Arden. This committee's already talked extensively about recapture discussions about Glen Arden. There is a possible sale, so we've kind of held off on that, but we are constantly monitoring that, trying to keep Mr. Sandvich updated on that, as well as our council. But we want to talk about Crystal Run, and the biggest concern was CRH Realty 3, which is the Monroe facility for Crystal Run, now Optum Health. And one thing we did discover in the last month in looking to pursue early termination of their pilot agreement, which is really where I'm going next. But Mr. Zoder reviewed plenty of documents related to this, because there were some amended versions of tax agreements and leaseback agreements. And he found that in 2015, I think in the leaseback agreement, there actually was a modification to the job commitment number. I think I did tell you last month that even the current CEO said, I don't know where that 452 number came from, because that's far more employees than they had in their busiest location at their busiest time. And then we did discover there's a 2015 document that says the commitment was lowered to 220. They still did not reach it. You see, going up as high as 159 and then coming back down. And you know, I did enumerate last month all the challenges they've had in the healthcare sector in general, and this practice that, you know, I think helps tell the story of that that decline. But they still were well below what the committed number was, and this is one project where the pilot doesn't expire until the end of this year. And we contacted the assessor's office, the real property department for Orange County, and they told us, and council confirmed, that if we were to terminate their pilot, which again expires 12/31/26, if we did so by March, then it could go back on the tax rolls for the school year, and it could be at full taxation on the roll. So I think that's something that we should take advantage of, given the timeline, that we have the opportunity to do that. And then if the committee and later perhaps the entire board, if you want to talk about further discussion of recapture, we can do that. But that's something I thought was appropriate. I did inform both Crystal Run Optum about this, they understand, and I spoke with Hamas Partners, which is actually a real estate holding company that purchased the property from Crystal Run in 2020. I think it was finalized in 2021. So they're aware of it as well, that we're going to have this discussion today. So maybe if you don't mind, Rudy, I'll put you in the spot and come to you, just if there's any other details around the latitude they have to cancel, to terminate early, and the timing, if you can just confirm what I said about the timing, that you think it still could be effective for this tax year.
Yeah, absolutely. The applicant hasn't complied with the terms of the agreement because of the employment. Accordingly, the IDA is empowered to terminate their agreement. At this point, they've already received whatever benefits they may have been provided, except for one last payment through the pilot system. So if we were to terminate that now, it would get placed back on the tax rolls. I believe there was a 10% abatement on this last payment. So the discount they're receiving is only 10%, but if we put them back on the tax rolls, they'll be paying the full taxes. So this resolution is authorizing us to terminate their lease and leaseback, their pilot agreement, and take any steps to put them back on the full tax rolls.
Linda,
Yes.
resolution is in the,
Where is it?
the packets.
Is it in there, by the way, the resolution?
I got it.
Otherwise, I have it in the other room.
I have it. Does everybody have a copy of the resolution?
I do.
All right. I would ask that we all take a moment to review it.
I just want to add further, this is a very old project. I've reviewed all the documentation that the IDA maintains on their website. I've now been provided the Dropbox for all of their information. It's voluminous, I'm going through it, but presently what I've reviewed does not provide for an ability to recapture already provided benefits, but I'm looking into the documents to see if it is in any of the other documents in the Dropbox, so that we may also have the ability to go further and claw back at some of the benefits that they've received already.
So moving forward with a new pilot that we might decide to do, can that be written into the agreement, that failure to meet it, the employment requests that they put into their packets, if it doesn't happen within the pilot period of 10, 15, or 20 years, that we can take it all back? Can we write that in?
The documents that my firm uses to close IDA transactions does have that language in there. In the lease agreement and in the pilot agreement, it has the recapture provisions. There's a sliding scale typically, 100% recapture for say years 1 through 3, all the way down to 10 or 20% recapture in year 10, 15, whatever the end of that is. But yes, it's
Perfect.
moving forward, it will be in all the documents.
Just so that we're clear, these pilots that were written were before we were all sitting here at the table. So I want to make
Well before.
I want to make sure that we're just clear, and watching it, there was no real teeth in this for us to go back and do what needed to be done. But moving forward, we are able to do that.
Correct.
So
yes.
just want to make sure before somebody
But-
gets
Yeah, but we-
get that a shape and.
But we could have saw this earlier,
We
maybe
could've saw-
we did it earlier, that we could have,
Yes,
you know what I'm
yes,
saying?
we're
So
1,
I
2,
get
3,
it,
4,
but,
5.
so, I have a couple of questions, and it's like, so, the 220, you had given us this information, the last meeting, so we adjusted it,
That 220 said 452 originally.
it was okay, I just
was.
wanna make sure, okay.
It was
So I
four
understand that.
fifty-two in the application.
Right.
The original
The
application.
leaseback agreement was silent,
Mhm.
and then there was an amended leaseback in 2015 that said 220.
So, and then, what we can, claw back or end it would be a 10% savings, because they're at the end of the pilot, is that correct?
Correct. They would lose that
And-
10%.
I understand, and then, now, if, when you had said that there was a document in 2015 to change the amount, correct?
The job commitment number? Yes.
So, what,
There's
I understand.
much more in that agreement, but
Oh,
that
okay.
is stipulated in there, clarifies the job commitment number.
So I
I
guess
should have
that
probably printed
kind
that
of,
for everyone to see, and I could share that with
Right.
you later, Brian, so you see it as well.
it's something to, off of what Linda had asked. I guess we'd have to approve it if any of these others could put in and say, hey, we wanna change the job numbers, I mean, they could apply for that.
It was
you know, and then-
before it was done as part of the final closing, so it was before closing, it wasn't
Oh,
like
okay,
after
I
it's
got
all
you.
done,
I
they're
got
paying
you.
the
Thank
pilot,
you.
and they come back and
Thank
change the
you.
numbers,
Okay.
no, it was
Thank you.
before the pilot was initiated.
Thank you.
Okay, for me, I wish we could have called back sooner, because this is way beyond the COVID period that should have happened. I think this is a result of, purchase by Optum, Crystal and Healthcare Consolidate themselves.
On that one question, so Rudy, our call that we did with Bill last week, we thought there was the opportunity to claw back. So further analysis, that's not an option, because we discussed having the board be able to look at that and look at how far you wanted to go back.
We did, this is since then. Go ahead, Rudy, sorry.
There's only limited documents that are on the website.
Yep.
It's the leaseback agreement and the amended leaseback agreement and the pilot agreement. Any document that would have provided a recapture provision should have been in those documents. They are not in those documents. There's no mention of the word recapture anywhere in those documents. The avenues open in the event of a default is just termination in those documents. But there are many more documents that I haven't had the full opportunity to review in the Dropbox. I'm not anticipating any of those would contradict what were in the documents that I reviewed already, but,
Any
I'm not
chance,
sure.
Bill, that could be in the documents that we're looking to get rid of? The paper docs that we have going back?
We're not getting rid of any project information.
So we don't think the docs exist? that
Well,
we
the
referenced?
Dropbox has electronic versions of all the documents, and that's what I'm reviewing now.
Okay. So I think to Linda's point, there is the possibility if, finds, or
Yes.
Rudy finds something.
I guess the question is, did you see anything? Are you aware of anything that this
No, this
body
has
should
been
be?
a conversation, we haven't looked at it, the issue is we brought up on the failure to meet, and that's what drove the conversation we're in, and then we had asked council, what are the options? Is the option just ending it for the calendar year we're in, which is the last year of the pilot, or is there a clawback provision like historically you would see it?
And I would say normally, when we close IDA projects, all of those provisions that Rudy talked about, they're in our docs, right? So they're in the default provisions, including termination, recapture. It's all laid out, and in terms of an event of default, those are the ones that we tick off. These are all the options. We just have to find out if any of those exist on there. Other than that, we might be just left with termination. Because, unless those documents actually state that, the defense can be, well, you didn't really reserve those rights, so your options are limited in terms of what you can claw back, if any.
So the change, before you walked in, we talked about making sure that moving forward, since all of these projects were initiated before any
Right.
of us were sitting here,
Yeah.
that we do have a termination agreement, that they understand what their responsibilities are once we close, and that failure to meet those numbers in any given year could cause us to decide to
Yeah, and
take back.
for all ideas that we represented, this, so all our, like, closing documents, they all have those provisions in
Okay.
terms of recapture, termination as options in cases of default, whether it's on labor, whether it's on sales, I mean, whatever
Whatever
it
it
is,
is.
they're set forth in those documents, so,
Okay.
I mean,
So
every
going forward-
idea has the same
So
same
going
policy.
forward, we've got some teeth
Right.
in the game to do what we need to do. Unfortunately, we got handed something that we,
Yeah, and we're trying to make the best of that, what we have.
But I'll tell you this though, knowing these facilities, because I use the facility right here in Newburgh, I don't know how I would vote, to be honest with you, if they were running into this issue with COVID. I know a lot of people work there, a lot of people use these facilities. I mean, if they came back to us and said, well, that could be an issue for them, I understand what you're saying, but they're closed, but I don't know.
no, what they've done, if you look at what happened with Optum, the lab is gone, PT is gone, OT
Okay.
is gone, there's a whole lot of things that have been taken away that would have had jobs
Okay,
still.
then, again, that's another separate, but I'm just saying with everything that had happened, I don't know what we would have done at that point, just to say, hey, we're saying, so we'll just claw it all back. I mean, with the knowledge of what you just had described, Linda, I think, that obviously that takes into it,
You're
but.
looking at 20 and 21, and a little bit probably of 22 is COVID, the COVID world. But then Optum took them over, and then I've watched them just systematically remove
I'm not at
departments.
that facility, I'm at this other one, and
Yeah.
I just know that there's a lot of people that use it, whatever, that doesn't make this correct or anything, but I'm just saying, I'd have to look at it, I don't even know what we would have done at that point, maybe you're correct or whatever, but.
I wouldn't
just
have
don't wanna
suggested
say-
any of this during COVID, but we're done, that's been long
I understand.
over. Now,
I
when you make a
understand.
change and you sell to another organization, then you still have to abide by the things that you said you were
I
gonna do.
understand. I understand.
Linda Lee has a question.
Yes,
What date did you say was the drop dead date to do this? March
By
1st?
March is basically how they
Well,
put it, so.
you have to specify the date, because I think it's probably March 1st, because that's taxable status date.
Right, exactly.
Established by the state for everybody for the year 2026, that's the
Correct.
date. If your house burns down the next day, you still owe the taxes for the whole year at that rate on that date.
So that's why sometimes the termination, the legality of it could take a little while. That's why I wanted to act on this right away. And then have further discussion about other
Insurance.
recapture and any of these other projects. And I will say that when it comes to further recapture, the Optum CEO did offer that, he'd love to come in or have staff come in and, respond to some of this if you want to discuss it further. This is when I told him we were gonna act on right away, but he made that offer,
I'm
so.
really, truthfully, to be honest, you can't hide from the changes that have happened since Optum's come in. You can't change, the departments are gone, people lost their jobs, lots of them. Yes, they've closed, specialty services, which physicians, nurses, goodbye, and then changed, they consolidated, which is fine. I'm okay with this as long as there's no other option to go back to 23. We can't go back. to
Which we don't have an
23.
answer on yet, right? We do, right, we'll come back on that.
Alright,
Next
so-
governance, Rudy will have
So
that answer.
then we should not move on this if we're gonna wait for additional
I
information.
think the early termination, we should.
Yes.
Okay,
Absolutely. Because
Okay.
again, time is of the essence of that.
Yeah.
We can recapture at any point, we're not gonna drag it on, but
Okay.
this is where I think time is of the essence and wanted to make it a priority today.
okay.
I have a question. What is it gonna cost us to terminate this? Obviously, there's a cost, there's legal costs, right? Who pays for
A
that?
few $1,000s. We are now charging a fee for transactions like that, but I don't know the fee schedule at that time. I don't think you do either, Rudy, but to see what we could recoup from the project on that.
I do believe the agreements say that if there is a default and there's attorney's fees incurred because of the default, that the applicant agrees to pay those reasonable fees.
Okay.
We have to go to court to
But
get it.
still enforcing that.
Okay.
All right, we'll track that and cross that bridge though, when we get there. Beyond that, beyond staff time, I don't think there's any other expense for it.
One other question,
Yes.
Rudy mentioned one payment, that would be school taxes this summer. It wouldn't apply to the real estate next January.
Next January, it's off the
It's done.
pilot
Okay,
agreement
so
anyway.
it is only
It'll
the.
be fully
school
taxable
tax,
once
yeah.
it's
Okay.
got in the roll.
So it's not even really a full year.
Right, they've already paid the January 2026 tax,
Mm,
so it's
okay.
only the one payment left.
So even though the taxes in January of 2020 2027 or for 2026, why wouldn't that be covered? Like your January payment, isn't that back or that's forward?
It's forward.
It's forward, okay. I don't like to look at my taxes because they're way too high, but that's okay.
I agree.
Did all the committee members have an opportunity to review the resolution?
Yes.
You did, all right. I would ask for a motion to approve the resolution.
Now, that's gotta be approved by the full board,
But we're
correct?
gonna look at this.
But you'll recommend the
We're
approval of the
gonna-
resolution.
We
Just
are,
wanna
as a
clarify.
body, are gonna agree and approve this
Great.
with the recommendation of the board. Yes,
Even though there is a default, and the very firm declare bankruptcy, we still go after them.
I'm sorry,
If they declare bankruptcy,
yeah.
we still go after them.
I don't know the answer to that question, but they're not gonna, I mean, Crystal Run Healthcare, Optum is not gonna declare bankruptcy anytime soon.
I don't think for the 10%, that's what he's saying. I doubt it,
No,
but it's possible.
I doubt it.
Have they, you say if they file for
Trying to
bankruptcy?
be,
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, well, there is, you have to go get relief of the automatic stay in bankruptcy. If they file, we'd have to go in and seek relief from that, but that's if they file,
I don't see them file.
yeah. Because I've had to do that before.
I don't think Optum would
any
want
adverse proceeding.
a headline to say that they've, that they're gonna declare bankruptcy. That wouldn't be good for business.
I'll make a motion recommendation to the full board to approve this resolution.
Thank you, Jeff. Second?
second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. All right.
And then, Madam Chairwoman, I have one other addition that is not on the agenda, the IDA bylaws. We weren't originally gonna come back to this, but again, you made a suggestion that we've added to the IDA bylaws as well. You have them in front of you on pages pages 4, again, where it says for COO and CFO positions, in the event that the current budget does not provide for that position, then the appointment requires prior approval by the board of directors, so. And I don't recall if it's on the IDA board agenda, but Mr. Chairman, we're gonna add that if not, so
Okay.
just so we can have a quick ratification of that, just adding that one sentence.
There's no reference to an ethics officer in this one?
It's already in there. We added that last time and approved it, we just added your comment last time, your suggestion
Got it.
last time.
Just
So I'm sorry, the ethics officer is on page 3, number 5, and I see that needs an underline.
Perfect, thank you, needs an underline, yes. Okay, so we are gonna we're gonna move this out of committee to the board.
Yes, looking for your approval to recommend that.
Could I get a recommendation, can I get a motion to recommend the approval of the IDA bylaws as presented?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Giovanni, second.
Second.
Thank you, Jeff. All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries, thank you. Is there anything else? that
And
needs to
lastly,
come-
just like we talked about in OCFC, there are 4 remaining policies of the 11 that this committee reviewed over the last year. The investment policy, defense and indemnification, disposition of property, and our procurement policy. You have copies of those. Again, like OCFC, the only real change you're seeing, because we did review it over the year, the only changes we're making now is adding essentially a cover page here with those dates, with the principles, procedure, and evaluation. But looking for your recommendation to the board to approve. Yes, looking for your recommendation to the board to approve, but we're not asking the full board to approve it until February.
Got it.
So they can all review it.
So I will remind them that she should take it home,
Correct,
have a glass of wine, and read them.
correct,
I'll make that motion.
please.
Make the motion for a glass of wine?
Well, that too. Refer it to the full board.
Okay, but we're not asking for anything to be done, so we're just gonna ask them to review it, and that we're gonna take it up in February.
We have to vote.
We don't meet again until April,
Oh, that's right.
so.
I
so
forgot,
that's the
I
only
forgot,
reason
I
I'm
forgot
looking
there
for
was
it. Since you're familiar with these changes and
Yes,
everything,
okay, so Jeff, thank you for your motion
Yeah,
to
thank
recommend
you.
it to the
Yes.
full board, that we'll vote on it in February. Second, thank you, Dean, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion carries, thank you. And that's everything, right?
That is everything.
Okay, the time is now 3:34. I ask for a motion to close, the Orange County Funding Corporation's Governance Committee meeting.
Motion.
Second, thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
Great, thank you all.